Welcome to War of the Mind podcast with Loren Johnson, your weekly dose of real-life experience for you, by you, giving listeners the chance to share their story while helping others and giving us all the opportunity to listen or be silent no more. Paving the way for War of the Mind to share these life stories of struggles to triumphs, failures to promise. Here, we are all one, and as one, we can overcome life's journey towards finding our purpose.
And welcome to the show. This is Loren Johnson, your host here on Limitless Journal. And basically, it's going to be a little bit about my story and just, I have had the habit of, always buying new journals constantly, to where I bet you I got probably 50 some journals. So that's probably even why, probably 100. But it's close, somewhere there. It's basically, I've kept a record of my life and ups and downs, and it's another way of me being able to share my story with people and show that, life's full of adversity and fight, and we can come through it all. And it's kind of a spin-off of War of the Mind, where War of the Mind, we're going to focus on mental health and addiction and overcoming adversity. This will be basically, all hands on deck. Read it how it is and share how I felt in that moment. And it's going to have some language and some not so good stuff, but it's going to be the real hard truth of what addiction looks like and the pain you go through, and it's the real life feelings of how I felt at the moment in time, from times when I attempted suicide and actually wrote in my journal right before numerous times. So I just want to share them so that somebody out there can know that it's possible to overcome adversity and struggles and obstacles in their life, just like I have. And I guess, when people ask me, what are you trying to do, for as a motivational speaker, who are you trying to help? And I guess, I'm trying to help anybody struggling, or motivate anybody, change that lifestyle they're in, to turn it into a lifestyle that they can enjoy and have hope and love and joy and happiness, and not that feeling of when the ball's going to drop and what's next. And I'm kind of going through some stuff right now with my health that's kind of up in the air, and It's caused friction at home, friction with myself, frustration, anger, pain. It's I guess I'm still numb by talking about it, so I'm not really gonna get into it tonight. It's already 10:15 p.m. I probably should have went home by now from the office here, but I want to get an episode in. It's Limitless Journal is going to be, my life story and basically my legacy, and I'm not sure how we're going to go about doing it yet. If I'm just going to randomly pick a day and pick a journal and reflect on when that journal, whatever day it is, and if it matches, and read it, we'll go ahead and do it that way. Maybe I'll let the listeners pick the day. Tonight I know I was looking at different ways of doing my podcast, and I know a lot of people are moving to video with their podcast, and I was trying to find some sites for that tonight, and tell you what, there's a hell of a lot of them, and I'm really not sure what I want to do, because right now I have mine through Buzzsprout, and it's been, I've had no issues with them. They've been good to work with, and I would recommend them to anybody. I'm not sure if they do the video portion, because I want to get into the live streaming, so when I have guests on, on War of the Mind, I can, be able to have video, and I'm kind of looking into it. I don't know yet if I can do that on Buzzsprout. If I can, I'll stick with them. But I would recommend, them to anybody. So, yeah. But, this is probably going to be, what I'm going to do is this is going to be episode 3 for, War of the Mind, and just advertising that we're going to be starting, Limitless Journal, where, we'll share my journal entries and let you know what I really felt like in that moment, because it coincides with, stuff we talk about on War of the Mind. So, like, if we're talking about addiction, recovery, or parenting, I got stuff in there on that. I got a journal all the way back to 2011, I think, 2008, maybe, when I first started journaling. And then it's kind of picked up speed, after. Because I really find journaling as a way of getting it off my chest, and then that allows me to not take it out on others. Right now, our family's going through a lot, and between my brother and, myself, the unknown part is what I dislike, and, but I have my faith that, it's going to be okay. And, today I had that feeling cross my mind how many times I overdosed, and I could have had the easy way out. Not really the easy way out, but that crossover. And, died peacefully. And I guess I'm just angry. Because I don't know what's gonna happen with my results. And all I know is I'll just say this: I found out I had polyneuropathy, not due to drug use. Basically, it's a disease where it jumps nerve to nerve, and whatever nerve it wants to, and kills it off, and can be fatal. I guess that's not. I don't know much more than that, other than what pain I go through. It's of course treatable with opiates, but I can't take opiates because I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna lead right back to heroin, and I haven't used heroin since 2021. And it's tough because I don't know what to say to my mom because she's suffering. It's caused a lot of bickering at home, a lot of tension, because she's possibly has two sons that are going to maybe go before she does. And, and she's living the nightmare. Her, my dad, her dad did with my mom losing 3 brothers. And basically all through the suicide. I know the one wasn't, they say, but if you're gonna sit and drink yourself to death on purpose, I would consider that possibly suicide. But that's my opinion, and only mine. And that's who I am. I guess I'll give it, and you can take it or leave it. I guess if I had to I sit and wonder why God, because faith is strong, one of my stronger areas and what keeps me sober. And if I had to say where I'm at, as far as fight, I told my counselor, I am tired, I'm exhausted. I just don't. I'm mentally tired. I'm physically tired. The health problems. I had a stroke, here, November, and it took a lot out of me. And then you throw in all the overdoses, you throw in I've had liver failure, throw in concussions, 2 TBIs, the list goes on. And I think to myself, how much can a person take? And it's exhausting, and it pisses me off because I overdosed on purpose a couple times, and I was brought back to life after being dead. And that's another time we could talk about that, but I could have went out on my own terms, and now I feel like I don't get to do that unless I go back to using, and that's not my plan, because like I told people today, I have unfinished business with my kids, who I love dearly. They're in my world, and that's the biggest reason why I'm doing the journals and the podcasts, is for them, so that they know Dad didn't just roll over and give up, and their dad didn't just walk away from them or didn't want nothing to do with them. When I got on heroin, I chose not to go back and see them. I never wanted them around it. My ex-wife would say, different as far as drinking, but, when we got divorced, she was the bigger drinker, and then I started drinking after we got divorced because I couldn't handle being apart from my kids, and because I was selfish. I thought I deserved to have my kids all the time, and but if there's anything I can leave behind, it's just letting my kids know I love them, and they get to hear Dad's voice in these podcasts, and hopefully I can help somebody, and they know that, and somehow I can help them. I don't know. It's scares me because it leaves question in my mind of whether I should even attempt to get back in their life, because I'm just going to traumatize them again by, hey, Dad's got, this or this going on, and sorry, I'm not going to make it, or I'm going to die, whatever, and traumatize him again. I've had every scenario run through my head lately, and it sucks. This unknown part sucks, but we'll get through it. I look at it this way: God, gave me all these problems because He knew I could handle them, but I'm still fighting, struggling, but I'm fighting. And basically this podcast, I wanted to let fans know that we're starting the new podcast, Limitless Journal. So, watch for it. I got all the artwork done for it lately, and then been writing up some episodes. So, like tonight, I can read I'll read the first one in this one book, and this is from, oh boy, I can't even, wow, this is a long time ago. It was back in 2000 when I had I didn't have it dated, but it must have been like still married to my ex-wife, so that would have been, 2009. I wrote how to started this 3 years ago. Life started going downhill in 2009 after Caden was born. A little after he was born, I was called to a crash. A mom and dad, mom and kids, and a driver drunk. And the drunk driver had fled and left his girlfriend to die in the car with kids in it. With her in it and the kid, mom, and the other one. When the vehicle was struck, but after the vehicle, I'm struggling even telling the story because this is still brings back memories of this night because I still haven't dealt with it. Basically, I'm gonna give you a summary. So mom and kids, 3 kids were going south on a highway, and drunk driver came around the bend and he crossed center line, hit him head on, and mom, was alive, and one of the kids were killed at the time, and then when the car got hit, spun around in a circle. This is when I was just a trooper. And the car spun around facing south in the northbound lane, and semi came around the bend, and of course the lights were blown out on the front end of the vehicle the family was driving, and so semi didn't see them in his lane as he comes around the bend, and he struck him again. And I got called out to the crash. I was home with the kids at the time, and it was only probably like 5 miles from my house, and at the time, and I had to fly over there, and I got there, and it was one of the worst crashes I've seen, and to this day I still struggle with it. And having to hold a little 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and do CPR on him, and keep him alive until the helicopter got there, and you telling him he's gonna make it, and even though he's not, it's the hardest thing to live with, and I struggle with it. Because I knew when he left my arms that he wasn't going to make it, and I wrote in here, never in the past did it bother me so bad until having children of my own. It was a struggle after this, and this night, having kids, and this happening makes me sick. I feel this is when the downward spiral started in my life. Everyone wants to blame here or there, yet I was the one there. I saw what they didn't that night, yet I hear over and over, you're tough, get over it, or it's your job, or suck it up, or eventually that takes a toll on you, and you take a person of life over it, and it becomes you. And I wrote life's a journey, and then I wrote I am alive, I'm strong, I'm a father, son, brother, great I'm great. I'm a believer. I'm loving, caring. I'm a beast, unstoppable, and blessed. But yeah, it was a tough situation. You know, I'm just gonna read 5/28/2018. I am great. I'm unselfish. I'm not an alcoholic, because I remember I used to fight that, and when I went to rehab, I kept telling them I'm not an alcoholic, and yeah, I was, but what I was trying to get across to them was I was popping pills at the same time, so I consider myself an addict, an opiate addict, and they would tell me otherwise, and they either treat me for alcoholism, and it was part of the case, but my primary was in alcohol. And yeah, it's funny I wrote that. And I'm in recovery. I'm one of a kind. I am blessed. I'm loved. I'm valuable. I am crowned by the Almighty God. And then they wrote Proverbs 18:21. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Up to you to choose your I am. Romans 4 says, call the things you are as though they were, meaning shouldn't talk about the way you were, talk about the way you want to be. Today, Caden gave me a bookmark, this bookmark that I can use in my new book. Caden wrote on it saying, I am happy. This was after being told to read I Am by a great friend, Loren, who actually is a motivational speaker as well. And I wrote in here, grace proved that day. But we're gonna have to definitely get a agenda down for the new show of how we're gonna do it, because it's gonna be hard reading some of these. It's hard reading my handwriting, but around 4 p.m. my mind is racing from past to thinking my purpose. I talked to my sponsor. He told him it was hard when we talked on Friday. Ooh, I don't know what that was. Dang. So yeah, I knew I drank Wednesday after talking to Patrick. I just went from Patrick, seeing him, talking to him, straight to drinking. Then went to a good friend, Loren, who called me out on my drinking after this meeting. He chewed me out like no other. I know he cares. I don't know. Something changed on Wednesday that night on 5/28. I felt different. Something is different when hearing it from a friend. End of the day, Luke woke me up, along with my mom and dad, always supporting me. No matter what, I told Patrick I drank this past Wednesday but end up the day I will do what I'm here to do. And I remember that Luke, he came to Eau Claire from Florida and was speaking, and him and I don't know, he got me into college wrestling, and out of high school to wrestle at his alma mater in St. Cloud State, and I owe a lot to him. They always say, like, there's that person that'll appear in your life, right when that you need them, and he was always that guy that just come back. We wouldn't talk all the time, but by God, when something be going around, all of a sudden I'm getting a message from him, or a text, or a call, or he shows up, and I'm unannounced, and he chewed my ass out, and he's probably the only one that, I would let say the things he did and pound a fist in my chest, but it was the last time I drank alcohol. I can honestly say that, but I don't know if it pushed me further into my addiction of opiates, but the pill popping just continued, and then which led into heroin and everything else. But I can honestly say that's a good read, because I'm going to mark this episode down for War of the Mind tonight, and hatch it up as episode 3. But even though I read this journal entry, I just want to give a little update on how we're going to do it. So we'll start the new episodes of Limitless Journal, coming soon. And we'll also still continue to do War of the Mind. That's going to be something that's just going to be ongoing with my speaking career, and updates on that, and just motivating people, and know that they're, I don't have an answer at times where I come up with the fight I have in me. I grind and fight and don't give up, and it doesn't matter how bad it gets, if I'm going into a wall, I'll step to the left or the right and walk around it, or jump over it, That's life. It's full of obstacles, and, you can lay down, give up, or go down fighting. And I've been privileged, lucky, I guess, resilience would come to mind, and strength are something that I think definitely has helped, because there's so many times I should not be here talking to you today, and I am. So, sometimes it's just the consequences you get of the things we do while we're young. And you just keep plugging away, and the show must go on, and it will. And like I said, as bad as it can be, I still got that fight in me, because proof of that would be me saying I still have unfinished business with my kids, and getting this speaking career going, that I have busted my ass trying to get this business going, to where I've went from working on part of my business, the artwork stuff, and the resin stuff I've done with bar top tables and stuff, like I started out of a shed. And then I moved to a community office called Collab, and where it was shared space, to where now I'm in an actual office of my own that I can call mine. And yeah, I'm speaking to you right now with just a desk and all my recording stuff, but I'm happy. I can look at it as, yeah, shit's going bad, but look at the progress I've made in a short time, and that's been less than a year of being sober off of meth. And it's amazing the progress you will make being sober. And it's not even about being sober, it's about enjoying life and being present. And we're only here for so long, and that's the biggest thing, is we're here on this earth. We each have our own little purpose. Whether you're a rock star or a football player or somebody that works at a gas station or a police officer or just a drug addict, we all have a purpose in life and purpose to fulfill that. And I firmly, believe that my time on this earth isn't over, and I got a lot to do, and he's not ready for me. And that's why he hasn't taken me yet. So why the hell would he take me now? Either that, or I'm starting to look at it as he just doesn't want me. But it's tough. It's tough thinking about it. I guess I'm numb about it, but keep plugging away. I'm still in treatment court, so I have the luxury of having plenty of people around me and the support I need to get through it. And that's anything I can teach youth, is when I coached wrestling, was not to give up. A lot of my fight probably goes back to my days of wrestling and not giving up, and made me who I am today. That will to not give up, and I won't. And I just feel like it's the struggle I'm having is with the piling up of it, of how much can a person take and handle, and eventually come to their breaking point. And that's where I felt today, to where I actually had to call and tell somebody, like, I'm worried, because it was crossing my mind. And when you're getting to that point, yeah, so me reaching out proves I still want to be here. And but it still crosses your mind, the what ifs, and what, I could easily do this and not have to deal with it. And then, anger comes to mind, but then when I sit down and talk about it and think about it, it's giving up just isn't who I am. So, with that, I want to thank you for listening to another episode of War of the Mind, episode 3, but we go 23.3. So, thanks for listening, and look forward to having you back listening to our show and on our next episode. So just remember to watch for this episode on War of the Mind, because I know I started out it was going to be for Limitless Journal, but we're going to end up having this just be War of the Mind, and it's this episode, and it's just advertising for Limitless Journal, just so you guys can watch for it, because I've lived a pretty wild life, and I just want to share it with somebody, anybody, just to help somebody. That's all I want to do. That's all I want out of this, and for my kids and parents and for myself, it keeps me grounded. So thank you again for listening, and that's another episode of War of the Mind, and we're out. And I want to thank you all for listening to the show today. I appreciate all the views, and just go ahead and don't forget to share with your friends and family, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, The Voice Project, and we're also on Twitter at LJ Voice Project, and we also check out our email. Our website is ljvoiceproject.com. Email is contactus@ljvoiceproject.com. Or we also have Loren, Loren Johnson @ljvoiceproject.com. We're also on Instagram. All of those. Just write us on our webpage, and we can easily get back to you. Just leave us a phone number. Our WhatsApp phone numbers on there as well. So feel free to contact us. We're always available and free to answer. So I really hope to hear from you soon.